What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of the Post-Gazette Pirates Show presented by FanDuel. My name is Colin Beazley, here with Jason Mackey. We're here on Halloween morning, bringing you the fifth part of our five-part series on the Pirates' positional analysis. We're talking about the relievers today. Jason, how's your Halloween going?
Great, man. I love Halloween. I don't know about you. I am such a sucker for Halloween. It was fun as a kid. In my 20s, it was okay. But like having kids and getting to live vicariously through them, and also, mom and dad tax their candy at night, it's awesome. Love it.
I'm sure I'll be the same way, like kids' future, whatever down the line. Like that part is exciting for me. But for now, I'd say Halloween's honestly one of my least favorite holidays. I like the candy part. I like that candy will be on discount tomorrow morning. I'm excited about that.
That a boy.
I'm not a big fan of getting dressed up or putting together some elaborate costume. That's something that I don't necessarily enjoy too much.
Yeah, you will one day. I didn't either at your age. Now I like it. I'm going as Harry Dunn from Dumb and Dumber. My son wanted to. My older son first picked the costumes. We did that, I don't know, 7 years ago, something like that, 5, 6, whatever. And then my younger son wants to do the same thing. So it's fun when you have somebody to do it with. I know in my 20s, I wouldn't have wanted to go out. It was just like a nothing holiday for me. But let's start with this, Colin. Favorite Halloween candy? If you were trick-or-treating, what are you pumped to get?
I love the Reese's Cups.
Man. All right.
Just classic there.
Yep.
But I don't feel like you can go too wrong. To give a controversial pick, because I know that's the number one Halloween candy.
No.
To give a controversial one, I like the Dots, too.
Dots is kind of controversial.
I like Dots.
I like Dots too. I'm with you. Dots, Juji fruit. I'm anti-coconut. Like Mounds bars, that's going right to my wife. I think coconut's gross. I don't like Three Musketeers. Is that controversial? If I get one, I'm not eating. It doesn't gross me out the way the coconut does, but I have no use for them. I don't understand what that is in the middle of the candy bar. It's gross.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a great candy. Before we talk about our relievers, I wanted to give show some odds from our friends at FanDuel. The World Series is still going on. Blue Jays are up 3-2, coming back to Toronto for Game 6 tonight, and we currently have some World Series MVP odds. Vladimir Guerrero is minus 195 to be World Series MVP. Shohei Ohtani plus 270, and Yoshinobu Yamamoto is third with plus 1,200. The other name that stood out to me, Trey Savage is plus 600, even though FanDuel doesn't even have his photo in the app, plus 6,000. So those are some interesting World Series MVP picks. What do you think if the series were to end today? I guess you have to.
You got to go Vladdy, right?
Yeah.
If it ends today, if the Dodgers come back and win, I think it's got to be Shohei. Right? I mean, depending on what he does in Game 7, or if somebody, I don't know. Let's say Freddie Freeman has 2 home runs tonight and 2 home runs in Game 7. Like, that's going to change things, right? But I mean, as we sit here today, I'd probably go Vladdy if the Blue Jays win and Shohei if the Dodgers win.
Yeah.
I don't think the Blue Jays are going to close it out, Colin. I'm excited to watch it, but I think and this could be like old takes exposed on Saturday, but I don't know. This series it should go to Game 7, right? It's been so good. I don't want it to end tonight. I want to see a Game 7.
I feel like it'd be anticlimactic if it ended tonight, because Game 3 was all-time classic. Game 4 and 5 were kind of one-sided stompings by Toronto. I'm interested to see what Yamamoto does. He's plus 1,200, and maybe if he can replicate his mastery from Game 2, maybe he's a dark horse MVP pick. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But we're here to talk about the Pirates today. We're here to talk about the Pirates bullpen. And I wrote an analysis of this. It's currently on the Post-Gazette website as the fifth part of our 5-part series. We already talked about the outfield, the infield, catchers and designated hitter, and the starting pitching. As I was looking at the stats, the Pirates bullpen was generally a positive in 2025, in my opinion. The statistics weren't bad. 3.83 ERA, 13th in baseball, 5.1 FWAR, 8th in baseball. I think it was solid. What were your takeaways from Pirates bullpen this year?
Yeah, I'm mostly where you're at. You listed their walks per 9, home runs per 9. Both were good. I thought the bullpen. Now, I guess I should have prefaced it with this, Colin. I mean, it needs to be good. It needs to be elite. Like if you're not going to hit, which the Pirates aren't, even if they're a little bit better, like they have to have an elite bullpen. They had an elite starting pitching staff. But I thought it was a productive year for the bullpen. I thought they found some pieces. They lost some pieces, and they have an offseason shopping list that we're going to get to. But I feel like I come out of this season feeling very good about Isaac Mattson in a late inning role. I feel very good about Carmen Mlodzinksi in a relief/late inning role. I feel pretty good about Dennis Santana being my closer. I don't have a problem with the Bednar trade, like in hindsight, how that turned out, what they're going to be looking at, salary-wise for next year and getting Flores back. I like him as a prospect. They need to add a lefty or two. I wouldn't mind if they added 2 veteran relievers to kind of stabilize that group. But, Justin Lawrence intrigues me. Kyle Nicholas intrigues me. Evan Sisk could intrigue me. I thought he had some decent showings there. Altogether, I thought it was a fairly productive year. I think the Pirates have plenty of problems and stuff to discuss. I'm not sure the bullpen is one, although, again, go back to my first comment, it has to be elite. That's not optional. What about you?
Yeah, I agree that it has to be elite, but a lot of the guys that you named and that were key contributors in the Pirates bullpen this year, I don't have any issue with them running a lot of that back. Obviously, they need more. They need another leverage guy. They need another lefty or 2. But Dennis Santana looked like a really good 9th inning guy.
Yeah,
1.90 ERA from August 3 onwards. Obviously, that's a little bit of cherry picking on my part because August 1st was his 5-run blowout in Coors Field. But after that, he was really solid. He's good in leverage. Showed he can be the closer. He's in his final year of arbitration. I think that's an easy decision for the Pirates to pick up and run it back. Mattson was really, really good. I don't remember if you said this on air last time, but seeing that his fastball was the 3rd most valuable pitch on the Pirates for Baseball Savant behind 2 pitches from Paul Skeens was excellent to see and really interesting, even though it doesn't have an outstanding velocity. He uses it 80% of the time, but opponents batted under 200 against it. That works.
Yeah.
That's really good.
You know what it reminds me of, Colin? And this is before you got to the Post-Gazette, but the Pirates had a guy named Richard Rodriguez. You probably know the name or have heard about him. And I mean, he was their closer for a little while and a really good reliever. All he threw was a 4-seam fastball. It was 94 miles an hour, but he could locate the thing exactly where he wanted to. That's what Mattson reminds me of. And by the way, I mean, you've been around this more than I have, but the Isaac Mattson story, like getting to know him, and I'm going to use this forum right now because I think it's a good one for it. Like when I did the Chuck in Uniontown piece this summer, we're waiting outside the Pirates clubhouse. And, guys are preparing for game. They have stuff to do. Like I would never begrudge players like you don't stop or you have something else going on. I don't think they're obligated to do that. But, here comes Isaac Mattson. Has no idea who Chuck in Uniontown is or what he's doing. Just starts asking questions. They strike up a He talked to Chuck for 10 minutes. I kid you not. Like it was so genuinely nice. Nobody asked him to do it. There are no cameras around. He gains nothing from it. He's just being a nice kid. I was so impressed with his character, man. And like, obviously he pitched really well and you guys all got to chronicle that and get to know him really well. I only know him to say hi, but like, I was just so impressed by that. He's a good pitcher, but seems like a better person.
He's a great dude. He is an absolutely great dude. And if you haven't read more about his story, I highly recommend checking it out. Our Noah Hiles, I believe in 2024, wrote an outstanding story on Mattson and what he's gone through. So recommend checking that out on our website. In terms of other guys, I wanted to talk a little bit about Carmen Mlodzinksi as well, because you're right. He was really, really good. He had a 2.12 ERA after moving back to the bullpen in multi-inning roles. It wasn't like 1 innings. It was 2, 3. That even includes a 4 or 5 inning appearance. He had one of those late in the season. Do you think that there's any doubt whether he's a reliever in 2026? Do you think we'll have these conversations again? Because I know he's wanted to be a starter. You think he put that to bed this year?
I hope so. I think so. I don't think that's going to be a storyline. I think Carmen's going to realize where his bread's buttered. I think he's going to realize what the team needs out of him. It's the same thing. Like, guys have a long career and make a lot of money pitching in relief, and some are just better at doing that than others. And I think there's enough sample size here. Like, they gave Carmen enough runway to show he can be a starter. He's a better reliever, the numbers you outlined. And there's no shame in that.
Mm-hmm.
And right now I'm looking at this Pirates bullpen, and like the primary three guys, at least in terms of who's on the roster, in my opinion, should be Santana, Mattson, and Mlodzinksi. Start there. And you're going to add some pieces around them, certainly. But like, if you're telling me Carmen Mlodzinski is a reliever only, I mean, I'm using him as much as I possibly can. I think the world of him as a reliever. I don't even like him. Let's have this debate quickly, Colin. I don't like him as a multi-inning guy. I'd rather have him pitch in the seventh or the eighth, I should say. Like, give me a lefty or two, and then I can match up Mattson, Mlodzinski, a lefty, maybe a veteran. All of a sudden, like, I've shortened the game there to 6 innings, at least, if not more. And I've got a young pitching staff. If I've got a lead after 5 and my young starter's up around 80 pitches or so, I can say, well, okay, I'm going to turn it over to, Mlodzinski, lefty, Mattson and Dennis, and close the game out. I really like that combo, but I don't know. Do you feel differently? Would you rather keep him in a multi-inning?
You're saying you just want him to pitch the 7th or just want him to pitch the 8th? Or
I want him to exhaust the tank for 1 inning, whatever inning that is. I don't want him saving anything.
I think I disagree with that. I don't mind. Like, I agree he should be. I don't have any issue with using him in leverage, but I think that he is most important as a multi-inning guy, just because of what the Pirates have. They have a number of young starters, like you mentioned, who probably
I see where you're going.
7-8 innings every time. They've got guys who you're going to have to manage their innings, manage their health, like Burrows, like Ashcraft, even to lesser extent Chandler. Like, he should throw a lot next year, but maybe still not 200 innings type. So if having Mlodzinski out there and knowing you can get 2 or 3 out of him and 2 or 3 really good innings, I think that's important to have. And I think that the Pirates could really use another guy like that they can use to piggyback a little bit.
It's interesting. I mean, that's a perfectly valid line of thinking. I disagree with you, but it's a perfectly valid line of thinking. I think you can go that way, or you can go the route of saying, if I go Carmen 1 inning, I can use him more frequently. And if you go 3 innings, like, Carmen's not pitching the next day. I'd rather have Carmen 1 inning and then have him available the next day. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what they do. I don't think there's a right answer. I don't think there's a wrong answer. I can totally understand. You say you have a young staff. You have a guy who's good one time through the order. He can go multiple innings. There's numbers there. Like, absolutely. We won't know that until spring, if then. I think both answers work.
Mm-hmm. Last couple of positives. I say Justin Lawrence. I'll just do them quickly because we have some negatives to talk about as well. Justin Lawrence looked pretty good with an 0.51 ERA and 17 appearances. I'd say pretty good.
Yep.
Sets that. Dauri Moreta and Chase Shugart were solid. Kyle Nicholas had some blow-ups, but finished the season relatively strong.
Yep.
They were pretty good. They could obviously steps can be taken forward, but
You think Nicholas figures it out this year? Can he finally eliminate the blow-ups? I think he can.
For him. I think it. I buy it.
Yeah.
I buy it. In terms of negatives, really the biggest negative in here is Colin Holderman. He came in as one of the top leverage guys. He pitched the 8th inning in Miami. He clearly had a big role expected of him, and he just never really found his form. He finished with a 7.01 ERA. Opponents hit 327 against him. You think that it's time? You think that it's –
Yeah, I do.
I saw this on the comments of this article. Someone suggested that maybe they should bring him back and let the new pitching coach work with him and see if you can find something in there. Do you think that that's worth the gamble? Or
I mean, it depends on what you do. I think when Clay Holmes struggled and it looked like there was no path forward, they brought him back on a minor league deal. I want to say they non-tendered and brought him back on a minor league deal. That might make sense for Colin. If they can bring him back on a minor league deal, take him off the 40 and basically say, you've got to pitch your way back, but you can do it here, I would do it. I don't know if he would want to do that. He might want to look for regular work elsewhere. I would not keep him in a 40-man spot because I just don't believe that it's going to happen. I'd like to be surprised. I mean, I do understand the logic. Someone got me with that too in a chat. They said, who's the pitcher most likely to improve with the new pitching coach? And I said Holderman because I think that, he has all this talent. The stuff's there, the natural talent, and he hasn't been able to put it together. But I can't trust him, man. if I'm in a game that's even remotely close, I'm not sending Colin Holderman out there right now, at least not based on what we know now. I mean, hopefully he fixes it and figures out his career. He's a great person. But just the performance has not been there.
Mm-hmm. Another good guy for sure.
Yeah.
There are a lot of relievers on the free agent market, as there pretty much always are. We won't discuss them too much, but
I like the list you put out there, by the way. If I could sign up for a few of those, I would.
Yeah, a couple of former closers are available this year. All of these would be buy low candidates. Ryan Helsley, Devin Williams, and Kirby Yates, all out there. All had pretty disappointing 2025 seasons. Maybe they could benefit from going to smaller markets or finding out some things. Nick Martinez also available. Two of the top lefties I identified are Steven Matz and Andrew Chafin. Those are guys that could fill a role and have like a Caleb Ferguson type role for the Pirates this year, because the Pirates need a couple more lefties. They can't go into the year with just Evan Sisk out there.
No.
They could definitely use a little bit more. Arbitration decisions: Dennis Santana, Colin Holderman, Johan Ramirez, Dauri Moreta, and Justin Lawrence are all arbitration eligible. We discussed their fates in a previous video.
Yep.
Got one other thing that we'd like to discuss. There was some other Pirates news this week that Jason and I have some thoughts about. But first, a word from our friends at Greenwald Roofing.
Hey, Pittsburgh. When you think of great roofs, you think Greenwald Roofing Company. With over 20 years experience, Greenwald knows your roof is your home's first line of defense. From rain, wind, snow, and ice. That's why Greenwald Roofing's standard for perfection is so important. You can trust that their team of experienced installers will treat your property like it's their own. When it comes to roof replacements, Greenwald Roofing is Pittsburgh's only choice. Visit greenwaldroofing.com today or call 412-314-8882 to schedule your free estimate. PA contractor number 36262.
So, Jason, calling this Pirates news may have been a little bit of a stretch, but certainly Pirate adjacent news, former Pirates manager news, as we came out a few days ago that Derek Shelton will be the next manager of the Minnesota Twins. Jason, what were your thoughts on this hire, and what do you think it'll tell?
I was a little surprised, and I was a little not surprised, Colin. I know that doesn't make any sense, so let me explain. Shelton getting back in this soon was a little bit surprising, but the fact that it was with the Minnesota Twins is why I'm like, okay, that makes sense. I started thinking about Shelton, and of course I was on the beat whenever Shelton was hired. I actually broke the hiring. No, I'm just kidding. But I did though. He was really well liked in Minnesota. I remember going back to Fort Myers at that first spring training and seeing Shelton like hold court with people there. And just how close he was with the organization, how much it meant to him and his family. Ownership, I know ownership is changing, but the Minnesota Twins are looking at this from one perspective, and that's Derek Shelton, the person. That like erase, if you're watching this video, if you're listening to this podcast, like they're not looking at what you're looking at. Obviously, covering the team or fans have looked at Derek Shelton in Pittsburgh a different way, and he made mistakes and he didn't do a very good job as manager. I'm not disputing any of that. I'm not disputing the firing, whatever. But I do think he was a very good person. I was around him a lot. I do think he knows baseball. I think he had a tendency to overmanage. I think he was in a situation where he wasn't given outside help. Guys didn't perform. And sometimes he felt like he had to make these changes and do these things and get a spark. And that was a mistake. But I don't think the guy should be banished from ever getting a second chance. I have a column on this going Sunday. And one of the things I ended it with this, that like, how sad would this world be if none of us could ever be given another chance? You're a decent person. You try really hard. You learn, you put everything you have into this, and it doesn't work out once. And people tell you can never do something again. That would suck. And like, I don't wish that for Shelton. I hope that he takes over Minnesota and he has a really good run. I understand. And I was as critical as anybody with what he did here, but yeah, I see what they're going for, Colin, and I wish them well. What about you?
Yeah, I was also very, very surprised, or I was very surprised by the move. I didn't know as much about his Minnesota background and the time he spent with the Twins. I have a little bit of a different relationship with Derek Shelton just because the experience I got with him was when things were really bad in Pittsburgh. Like I started the season with the home opener. Like the Pirates were already 2-5 at that point. The season was already going poorly, and I kind of got to see Derek Shelton and the Pirates really at their lowest.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird to see like what we saw early this season and to know that he immediately got that other opportunity. But again, like a person shouldn't be judged on their very, very worst, and a manager shouldn't be judged on the very, very worst moments of his managerial tenure. He was here for 6 years. He did some good as well.
Yeah.
He obviously wasn't what the Pirates wanted, didn't accomplish all the Pirates had hoped for him, but I don't know. I'm a little surprised by the hire. I don't feel like I should judge him considering I only saw him at the lowest, but I'm certainly interested to see what he can do in Minnesota.
Yeah, that's a tough spot for you, man. Like I think about all that I saw of Shelty, they were rebuilding for the first 3 years, and he kept that together, and guys really liked him, and they played hard for him. And I know people might hear that and think, no, wait, they didn't play hard for him. The Sunflower Seeds and Will Craig and Key Brian Hayes and like all the stupid stuff the Pirates did. Yeah, but I would argue that there was always effort. It wasn't always smart. The Pirates, he had a handle on this team. They got to 76 wins. I think that was in 2023. And then, at that point, like things are fine. You come out of a total rebuild, you jump like 14 wins, you're at 76. And then they never got any higher than that. And I mean, some of that was Shelton. Some of that was managerial decisions and lineup decisions and all that, and in-game decisions that he struggled with. Absolutely. But let's not forget, what was the farm system when Derek Shelton was here? What were the trades when Derek Shelton was here? How did they add to payroll? Did guys perform up to their capabilities? And no. I mean, the answer is no. And that's not all Derek Shelton's fault. He got, a decent amount out of this team. I'm not defending his managerial status and saying he was the greatest manager ever. Absolutely not. But I did see a little bit of a different window into the guy. He's not a dummy. It's not like he went through this without thinking about, every little thing he did. If anything, I would argue he thought too much about it and let numbers and, how things should go kind of govern what he did. I would like to see Derek Shelton have more feel, have a little bit more of a relaxed attitude toward things. But I was thinking about you with, that answer and prior, just with you coming on the beat. This isn't a Derek Shelton comment, but it's going to be fun for you to go to spring training. Where you've never seen an environment where people are loose. It's probably going to be weird for you to go into a clubhouse people aren't hacked off about something.
It's going to be strange for sure. And I am looking forward to that. I am looking forward to also seeing Derek Shelton with the Twins and seeing how he manages what probably will be another rebuild for him.
How about that?
Twins aren't set up to contend this year. Maybe if he can make similar progress with the Twins, get them from wherever they end up being this year and kind of build them up to getting closer to 500. It'll be interesting to see whether he's the man to go through the entire rebuild or how they treat that. But that's way off down the line.
Yeah.
Jason, any closing thoughts?
That's all I got, man. Enjoy. Are you doing anything for Halloween tonight? Just staying in?
Covering high school football.
Okay.
Yes. So watching, I'll be up in Newcastle for Newcastle Montour.
You're going to Newcastle?
Going to Newcastle.
Let's go. I went to school right by there, Westminster. It's like 30 minutes down the road.
I'll ask you after for some recommendations, but
yep.
Thank you guys all for watching this edition of the Post-Gazette Pirates Show. I'm Colin Beazley. This is Jason Mackey. You can check out all of our work at post-gazette.com, and we're both on Twitter as well. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, don't forget to give us a like and a subscribe, and we'll be podcasting every Tuesday and Friday for the rest of the offseason. Thank you guys for watching. We'll talk to you guys next time.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you watch this video on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. For all of the sports coverage the Post-Gazette has to offer, visit post-gazette.com.